Hey everyone, Victor here again with the Coffee with Experts, and we are having such amazing conversations that I wanted to tune it up just a little bit and turn it into awesome. And there's nobody more awesome than Aaron here who's with us. Aaron, how
Yeah.
are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Victor.
Now,
I don't know if I'm
you-
that awesome, but thank you for the intro.
of course. Just so everybody know and is up to speed. Aaron is the founder of Awesome Human. Awesome Human is, in my terms, and Aaron can correct me, a skincare brand. But this comes with a lot of knowledge and background that Aaron's going to be talking more about. He is also a founder of Awesome Design Lab. So you see, the awesome wording is going to be used a lot in this episode. I already apologize if you don't like it, but it's going to be an awesome episode nonetheless. And we have here the possibility to talk more about the skincare market, more about the journey of Aaron until he decided to found his own company. But of course, I'm talking too much just as I always do. Aaron, once again, thank you for being here. The point of this show, the point of the episode is to make sure that people understand who the founder is, who the business person is, or who that person is, because not everything needs to be business related, right? So, this is the same question that I always ask. Who are you? What is your difference in the world? Why should people click on the links below in the description to follow you on everywhere else? And you see, why is the naming of the brands awesome? Why did you decide to go with awesome? Is it because you're awesome? People want to know.
Oh my God, this is such a long question. You did tell me that these questions were going to allow me to speak a lot, but I don't want to bore people. So,
Nah, you're not
uh,
bored.
first of all, thank you again for having me. So I'm gonna go. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this, but let's start with a little bit about Awesome Human. So Awesome Human, it is skincare, but it's also supplements. So I want you all to know, but it's a little bit more than that. Every product we make donates to a micro charities. One of
Oh, that's
our
all.
main thing, and that's part of the reason why it's awesome. Look, I'm gonna backtrack a little. The brand originally, when I started thinking about it back in 2020, during COVID, I was like, I want to help people and I feel so helpless. Like, my family's in Mexico. I have family in different parts of the US, in different parts of the world, but I cannot do anything. Like, I'm working a 9 to 5 job. My funds, like, especially right now, like back in that moment, it was like, if you lose your job, you have to go in this sort of like weird welfare. So I didn't want
I
to be
see.
part of that. And I'm like, I mean, I was thankfully in Florida at that point, which was a little bit less stressful than places like New York, where I did spend 10 years of my life.
Oh, it's a
But
long time.
so with that, I started with, I'm gonna start something called Better Human. And then I started developing things and thinking of, skincare, and because that's my background. I worked in skincare for 15 years.
Okay.
And I thought, like, eventually in like maybe 2022, I was like, the thing is, better human is not like incredible. So I started playing with superlatives, and awesome was it. I was like, awesome is
Oh,
like, there's not
awesome.
like, if you're awesome, you're like
Yeah.
amazing, you're done, like, this is it. And
Yeah.
it was gonna be amazing. I also own Marvelous Human situation, but I'm like, awesome is just easy, people will remember, hopefully. So with that said, I thought, if we're going to be awesome, what else is going to make me awesome and make the brand awesome and the people that use it awesome? And I thought, well, let's incorporate this piece of social responsibility into it.
Makes
And
sense.
once again, I started thinking backwards, and I thought, most brands and businesses that donate to charities, they normally donate either from the profit or the sales, and typically to a very large nonprofit, right? Which is
I
great. I mean,
agree.
I'm not saying don't do that, but if back in the day you had asked me which charities do you know, I would say the same 10, right? So St. Jude, the Leukemia Society, the Breast Cancer Society, like the
You
same 10.
being
But
big breathe.
it's crazy. They're in the US alone, because right now, unfortunately, I'm still only US and Canada. Eventually, I'll be everywhere in the world. But in the
I
US
know you.
alone, there's 1.5 million nonprofits. 1.5 million.
I had no
That
idea.
It's crazy. So I'm like, how are people, how are these foundations and organizations getting any exposure, any funds? So that's when I started doing some research, and the way I've been doing, and it's changing, every day changes. It's a small company still. So what we're doing is every 6 months we change the goal, or like the category, right? So the first 6 months, because I just started this last year in 2024, the first
Okay.
6 months we were highlighting charities that support the seniors, right? So Pets for the Elderly, Justice in Aging, those kind of organizations that help people that are old. You normally don't see commercials about, you know older people that need support. So that's
You
why I
don't.
started that. And we're all going to be old. Most of us have grandparents, parents that are elderly. So I figured, let's help that. So when you buy your product, basically every product has the exact same amount of funds that go to charity. It doesn't matter, because I build it to the cost of making the product. I'm not doing it from the profit, because I'm probably not going to be profitable for the next 5 years, sadly. But
I
it's the
see.
truth of owning your own business. So it doesn't matter if I get a retailer and gets 50% off, because obviously you have to work your margins.
Of course.
Uh, the charities will get the exact same amount, because it's built to the cost of making the product, not to the revenue from the product. So
I see.
um, that's part of the whole. I mean, that's the main mission for Awesome Human, right? To spread the love, because we believe that everybody is awesome, and people want to help. Especially, right now, you see, with all the different things that have happened in the world in the last few years, a lot of people have really put on this new vest to help
Agree.
others, thankfully. And some have
Yeah.
gotten a little bit more selfish, but most of us, I think, have gotten into a little bit of helping people, which for me
Empathy,
was a big change. Go ahead.
right? Empathy. We have more empathy towards others. And it was, I remember, maybe around 2020, before COVID, maybe. This was the word of the year, empathy, which I also remember that a lot of companies were using it just to make more money, right? So
Yeah.
this is things that you're saying. But again, we were, for those, of course, listening to us, we're talking before the episode started about how we want to make sure that it's not only about money. Of course, we live in a world where money dictates things, but
Hmm.
whenever I can try my best to do something, not thinking about it, I become a better person across my entire view. You see, and I feel like you're talking about the same thing. Yeah, and mostly people watching us are feeling the same. This is a general consensus in terms of, I think, the especially now with AI, we're getting scared of losing our jobs to AI. So we're seeing more and more automation, robots, billionaires, huge companies telling everybody that they don't care about the human side of things. That
Hmm.
when somebody like us and the people watching us can have a debate about it, it is a worth debate to have, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, love
Absolutely.
it.
And and that's also sort of like what I use AI for sure.
We can,
It's important.
if you want, I
Uh,
would actually ask you about AI if you want to
Yeah,
say.
no, and I'll talk about it. And I use AI in many instances, but I think what you're saying of that human touch is something that I don't want to lose, and it's part of the Awesome Human.
Me neither.
One of the other reasons to create Awesome Human was sort of, I don't know if you remember, at least in the skincare realm, there was this movement called de-influencing. It was around
Mm,
2023, which it came about because a lot of the information that we're getting are from
fake.
influencers, right?
And
That, I mean, in 2021, TikTok just exploded and everybody was an influencer. And again, I'm not against influencers, but you have the 18 to 23, 24. I mean, they're starting to age now, so 26
yeah,
years old. They're
yes.
growing up a little. Telling you, hey, this is my favorite routine, and every day there was a different skincare routine of the favorite products of the person that just said yesterday that the favorite things were something else,
Yeah,
right?
it was
So
banana, today Apple, right?
it was it
Yeah.
was a little crazy, and it's still going on. So with AI, I think also a lot of the authenticity on content has been lost because you constantly get the same script of like, this is my five, this, it's always a 5-step routine of the cleanser, the mask, the toner, the moisturizer, and whatever else you want to finish with, right? So that's one of the things that I've been battling with Awesome Human and, for example, content. I've tried to make all the content
Mm,
non AI scripted, and
scripted.
instead, what I've been doing is people send me their videos, and then I make something crazy with them. So there's a little bit of entertainment and that human touch, right?
It is
So
awesome.
it is about authenticity. And I think
Hmm.
that authenticity turns people into awesome humans as well, right? Because you don't
Agree.
want to be a robot. You are not AI. You are not AI. You are a person. So,
Y-
sort of like I'm trying to keep telling people, like, keep thinking by yourself. Not everything has to be captured like this. If you want to improve your sales of your retention rate or your prospecting, that's fine. Use the machine, but the personality, don't lose it. And that's something that I've been trying to do with Awesome Human. If anyone wants to check it out,
Hey,
awesomehuman.love, that's the Instagram and the website. It's all about fun, right? Because we've taken so much fun out of things. Everything has become the
oh yeah.
same cookie cutter, and that's one of the things we're battling. So
Well, yeah, yeah. I People are already aware of how conversation is turning out to be, as I we would, and especially considering, as you said, content is very important nowadays, and Google makes sure to tell everybody how important content is, right? Yesterday I was using ChatGPT to help me write a post for my LinkedIn, and I didn't like the results whatsoever because they were super robotic. And I think because we work closer to AI than a average consumer, we can already see the signs of AI. The word that I heard and that I'm sharing with others is that AI right now is still undercooked. You still need more time, and that's super fine. And there's no issue in that. But companies need to understand that it is undercooked, right? You
mhm.
can't 100% utilize marketing, sales, communication, customer experience with AI. You can't. You just can't.
Yeah, you cannot.
And people are getting more and more resistant about it. I
Yeah,
remember chatbots when they were a thing. People were already saying, "I don't want to talk to chatbot." And now that the chat has AI, they don't even want to start. Once they go to the environment of a chat and they see that it's a bot, they already leave the place.
yeah, yeah. And they're
It's
like
crazy.
agent. Like, I don't know. That's what I do.
Yeah,
Right?
you can write and you can write talk to human, you can write
Great.
human contact, but still companies don't want to have the human, the agent, because it costs more,
Mhm.
right? And it's all about profit. And here we are talking to you where a part of your go to the community again. So that's I see why you're using the term awesome, and that is indeed awesome. But again, people and everybody who's here, they want to know more, and I don't think we can move ahead without mentioning your expertise in the, again, I'm using the skincare term because back in Brazil we use skincare as a term a lot, so I do apologize if you don't like it. Yes, but I know you've been working with skincare for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot has changed, right? The
Mhm.
world has changed a lot. Can you just walk us through one of those days back in the beginning, showing how different it was, just so we feel a little bit nostalgic here.
Yeah. Oh my God. So back when I started in I really started my skincare career when I was like a teenager and I was getting pimples. My mom would actually, she
Okay.
used to, well, she's a naturopath slash bit of a shaman in
Okay.
Mexico. Like she cures people with
I mean,
herbs. So she used to go get her treatments, but she would bring me recipes of things to do for my skin with herbs, like masks. So that's where I started my love for skincare. And then after that, I moved to New York in 2008 and I started working for a shaving company, the sister of the art of shaving called eShave. And that's
okay.
really where I started really getting my sort of product development expertise. And I think what has changed the most is the industry really used to be about positively changing people's skin or skincare routine through sort of like more natural, holistic ways,
I see.
right? I mean, ingredients were somewhat basic and you would make your formulations with that. And then again, social media happened, things got to be way too fast, right?
Yeah.
So you needed the new product, the new collection faster. I mean, we used to go through more or less three skincare cycles every year. All of a
Okay.
sudden, it's like four, five, start launching something new once a month, once every
Um,
2 months,
yeah.
which it's an incredible amount of product if you think about it, because again, people wanted to try and whatever. So I think one of the most negative changes within the industry was coming up with new marketing stories with very similar formulas by just adding a 0.00001% of something, right? And again, that goes back to the influencing part of Awesome
Agree.
Human, which is you don't need to spend 500, $300 on a serum, which is mostly water. You can spend $30. The basic formula is really what's active in your skin.
Hmm.
Either, if it's the hyaluronic acid, if it's the even shea butter, glycerin, those are the things that are nourishing, that are giving you the moisture. All the other things, the whatever, red algae, rare red algae from an ocean
The
that's almost
slight
dry,
corner of yes.
that is not really going to do anything for
Going to
you. But people are like, oh. So that was one of the big negative changes that I saw in my career, which was the fast. It was like fast cosmetics, right? You're gonna use it just like fast clothing from Zara and H&M.
Yes.
It was like a revolving, like you have to create something new. And then the other part was big labs like Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, they would buy more small companies. They would get the formulas from those small companies, put it into the larger conglomerate, change the name, add one, two things. Then what happened was it just became a cycle of formulas, right? So this small brand from that was purchased by this lab, now you can share the formula with this other category within the lab, within the
Mm,
conglomerate,
I
change the
see.
name, change the package, sell it for 300 because we know that the people buying it at $60 are loving it. So give it a different name, put some gold dust,
Add my
and
add right at the luxury of the brand, and there you have it. New
and it was
product.
just a cycle, right?
I see.
Something stopped working, you get your curves, sales started going down, discontinue it, and move it back to a lower, the formula back to a lower range, and that just started happening like a cycle, and I think it's still the cycle. So
I see.
um, uh, with the awesome human formulations, everything's pretty basic, but it works, right? It will have the few ingredients that are good for you. And that's it. And in terms of nutrition, it's the same. We have a lot of single ingredient supplements because actually, a little mini story. My first job in Mexico was to work for these super fun and somewhat crazy high school. They weren't in high school, they were older, but they were all high school friends, and they wanted a wellness center in Mexico City.
Okay.
So one of them was the head cardiologist of the biggest hospital in Mexico, and he was
Hmm.
like, "Aaron, you need to, in addition to the skincare, you need something that people can take, and we need ways to measure so that they can get both, because the skincare doesn't work if you don't have the right nutrition." So that's one of the reasons why at Awesome Human I added that based on
I
my
see.
first job, because I thought, he was totally right. Like people keep, plastering stuff in their face, but don't have the nutrients to support the production of collagen or of additional vitamins that you need to look and feel better. Um, so that's the other thing. So I think in terms of evolution, I feel like we're starting to turn maybe a little bit back to trying to understand ingredients, and that's one of the reasons I also try to give education on ingredients on my socials. Uh, and people, are starting to read labels a little bit more and are learning how to read labels, and I think that will hopefully change the industry a little bit more. Plus the fact that people are also sort of like understanding, I think, that the constant influencing of products is not going to really change your life. It's fine if you try
I
it, but it's not great.
You said so many great things that I could comment, but again, this is your show, so I don't want to steal anything at
Please
all. Just
comment.
yeah, two comments. Two comments. First of them regarding influencer and makeups, skincare, and so on. Back in Brazil, we have a huge influencer market, which generates a lot of money to a lot of companies. But one in particular is standing out negatively. We have this duo country music. They're old already. One the son dates this girl. Her name is Virginia. If you Google Virginia Fonseca Brazil, you're gonna see how big she is. And she became even more notorious because of a I'm not sure if it's a face cream. It is to hydrate your face, right? For girls, for women. And then YouTubers, knowing her notoriety, decided to test the product live on YouTube to see if it was worth the price it was asking for because it was expensive. It was super expensive. And you have several YouTubers with the product showing how it is. It shouldn't the product itself shouldn't go out easily with water, but you just do this and it goes out immediately. It doesn't stick to the pin for 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So and I'm not sure why it's a bad product. I know it is a bad and expensive product, which was born through influencer marketing. Because Virginia is smart. I wanted to be Virginia when you think about it. I mean, I don't because she F's a lot of lives, but when you take into consideration that she understands the market place she's in and what she needs to do to make money, she's a smart entrepreneur in the capitalist world, right? She's a role model. But again, we are more and more talking about how we don't want this. People are understanding the fake side of influencers, the fake lives. You have influencers with Ferraris. You have course sellers, right? I think this is a thing as well. Like buy my course and be a millionaire in 1 month. And then you
Yeah,
have houses and the big cars, they're all just rented.
it's
So
so great.
yeah, we are seeing more and more how fake it all is. And then you have the good influencers, the good influencer marketing, which for me personally, this is Victor's opinion, not digital. We should start calling the bad influencer something else. I think influencer is somebody who influence positively, somebody who grows into your life that makes a good change. You can say, for example, me Beast. Right now he's getting shady, but you could consider him an influencer. He installed wells in Africa, right? This is a good influencer.
Right.
Then you have Virginia stealing people's money, hopes, and dreams by selling fake products that are priced. And then I ask you, because we are in this digital era, this moment in life where people are waking up, but you still have people who haven't waken up. They're
Oh.
still consuming, this is their lives. How do you make sure that awesome will stand out for those people who are also taking a look into the luxury brands, into everything that we just said?
Well, I, I might not answer this question the way you want me to answer, but this journey, and again, it's still new, so I'm still learning. One of the biggest takeaways I have learned is you're not going to be liked by everybody.
That's actually
And that includes your friends. I have had, I've been talking about this dream for, I don't know, for 15 years, but I've been talking about this for 4. And I launched the brand, and my friends were like, "Well, Aaron, I'm not your customer." And I'm like, "I understand, but like I created this. Try it." And they're
and
like, "Well, I'm not gonna buy it." I'm like, because they're, I have some bougie friends, right? Like, they're very well off, very wealthy, and they will keep going to the luxury brand. There's certain, I think it would be a disservice for the brand to expect that everybody will love Awesome Human.
I see.
But I think for me, what's important is, listen, there's billions of people in this world. So
Oh
for
yeah,
me, the most important thing is reaching out the good seeds that are willing to try it. And I don't get discouraged by it.
this is awesome.
And yeah, it's just to learn, and the funny thing is, I have spoken to a lot of people. As I said, I'm also starting a YouTube channel podcast situation called You're Awesome. And in those interviews with the few people that I have talked to, many of them that are entrepreneurs have said very similar things. Don't rely
I
on,
see.
like, you cannot just rely on your network. You have to figure out your new bubble and move on towards your new goal, your new demographic, and that, I think that is very important in terms of marketing, really understanding the demographic of your product.
I
You
see.
will capture some people that are outliers, always, but
Hmm.
focus on the people you know will support you. Then that's why, for me, for example, a big piece on, like, how I try to reach new people is through the philanthropy piece of
Oh,
Awesome Human,
nice.
right? A lot of people that want to give, they will support, they're more likely to support a company that's giving than a company that's not, or that doesn't really
Agreed.
clearly have a message, and they're just, as you say, about the luxury. And it's fine, there's a lot of people with a lot of money and they only will do the luxury, and then some people will try it, and then and that also eventually I'm planning to also start a sort of like separate segment within the Awesome Human world for, let's say, you like Awesome Human and a friend that's wealthy and will not try it wants to give you a gift. They can buy Awesome Human, but also I'm trying to create a way for those people to give to the charities that we're working with through Awesome
Uh-huh.
Human without having to necessarily be a customer of Awesome Human, right? Because
That's
again,
great.
being awesome for us is about the giving, which is one of the examples right now. For example, I don't know if you know about the LA fires.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
so uh, that's one way that we are reaching some of those people. We started partnering with the California Community Foundation for their wildfire recovery fund. And some of the people that would never buy something from me are going either directly through me or directly to the fund to provide support for the people that have lost everything during the fire. So that's just another way. And yeah, so.
A really nice what you're doing. Again, it should be Apple, it should be Tesla giving hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars for this. But Victor, come on, it's a brand. They need to make money. Ah, guys, come on. They have
Right,
enough money to help. They just don't want to. It's as
right,
clear as day. And as soon as the people realize this, the better. Because you have so many people defending brands, especially the Fortune 10 ones, like
right.
they are goddess here, right? They literally are ruling the world. Uh, and why is that? Why don't we have some companies like you? And we need to do this. So this conversation right here is super important to inspire more awesome people to build more awesome brands. You're on the correct path, really. I'm
Thank you.
talking this by heart. You are an amazing human being.
Um,
Everything else that you're doing is amazing.
Thank you.
Sorry,
No,
awesome.
I mean, and again, I think people are realizing that giving back is more rewarding than buying a new Dior bag. I mean, I
Yes.
think I sort of can feel it. I myself, I do love beautiful. I am a shoe person.
I'm
I,
sorry, I have the iPhone. I like it. I
right.
like, but I
But
want
not
I
everything is that.
exactly.
Eventually, I think we've reached a point in our civilization where fulfillment and happiness sometimes is trumping desires of wealth. So
Yes,
I'm not saying I don't want to be rich. I obviously want to be rich. But
me too.
if I get to be rich without having helped, I feel like I'm very unfulfilled. And I do want to, I'm going to have to do a little correction here
Uh,
for the fact checkers, because I know we're going to have some trolls every now and then. For Tesla, I'm not a fan of Tesla, but they have
they
given
help.
some cyber, they have given cyber trucks to the fires.
Which, yeah, I was
Uh,
I was rough on them. I agree because they even, I mean, when talking about Tesla, you talk about Elon. Elon gave free internet access in Brazil. Oh yeah, sorry. So let's. I know iPhone is
let's do
carbon
four.
neutral. You know, I mean, sure, but that's the thing, Aaron. They know that they need to have public data showing that they're helping.
Yeah,
They're not helping
yeah, that
because
is
they
true.
want to help.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, that is true.
it's not about it. They know that they need to be in the highlights for helping people. But again, you know that everybody else could do more. And it's easy for us to say that the billionaire dude should do more because, Victor, then you should become a billionaire doing the same. I think I would. Right now, I think I really would help a lot. Bill Gates is one of those billionaires who helps. He
Mhm.
all have. So we need more Bill Gates. It's not a rare occasion. It's not Captain America that needs the serum. It's easy to be good,
Right. Exactly.
right? It's easy and
Absolutely.
it's nice. I love being good. I love being helping people in the street, giving food to those. You have the movement right now where don't feed people in the street because they will take the money and buy drugs.
Because they what?
Usually people say for you to not give away money to beggars because they can take the money and buy alcohol or drugs and
Oh,
they won't
yeah.
buy food, right? But then again, they are living in the street. They don't have anything else. They don't have the dopamine shot that we have with TikTok and Netflix and everything else. So if for them to stay alive, they need at least to buy a small alcohol or anything else, I'm not gonna be the guy opposing to that.
Right.
I drifted from the conversation. I apologize. We need to close this, and I want to close it with the future because we're talking about how much we want to change the future, right? What can we expect besides everything that you already said, which is already a pretty good, solid future? But what can we expect from you and Awesome? Because I'm based in Portugal, I already want to buy products. If I'm correct, you don't ship it to Europe yet, right?
Right. Right.
Okay, what are the plans for not even 2025? Let's look forward. What can you
Yeah,
say?
no. Well, hey, my dream is to get this global, but so in my previous job at Deborah Lippman, one
Okay.
of the things I did is I expanded the brand from like 5 distributors to 33 distributors around the world. So we were in Asia.
Wow.
I've done a lot of work internationally from Japan to Germany, never Portugal, but Spain,
Okay.
and a lot of countries, they obviously look at what's going on in the U.S.
Yeah.
Beauty and whatever, right? So definitely, and I think I have a good network of contacts that maybe eventually can support. It's all about exposure, budget. Registration of cosmetic and nutritional goods in the EU it's not only time consuming but expensive. Same with Japan,
Yeah.
for example. So I would eventually love to go global. And by going
You
global,
will.
I also want to create sort of like local awesome human hubs, right? So
Amazing.
because I keep saying, right now, US 1.5 million charities, but I want to give the opportunity to these other countries to create their own local chapters so that they can help. Like if you're in Portugal, you help the charities in Portugal. It doesn't make sense that you would help the charities in the US with your
Yeah.
purchase. So I want to create that model, which I think it would be a little different to, again, most models out there for social responsibility, because at the end of the day, the funds end up all coming to the US finance. But I would love to do that, right? Because I think, I mean, especially, for example, again, being from Mexico, I would love to help people in Mexico. I also studied in Canada for 5 years. I would love to help the people in Canada. So that's my dream. And the second piece of the dream is to expand Awesome Human to different categories so that even that person that's not currently my customer, They
Mm,
might get something because they might need the detergent or they might need
makes sense.
the, I don't know,
Sense.
the
Yeah,
competition to Swiffer, right?
yeah, they
So
will need something awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
everybody does. Plus,
yes,
it's fun. I don't know. I think I have a very fun brand. So
I agree. And again, I invite everyone who's watching to click on the links down below to see the awesome brands that he has because they are awesome. Aaron, I have one last question for us to wrap this up, and it is a personal one that I always ask my guests at the end of the episode. You are a amazing and awesome and brilliant, super kind human being. It is all about positivity, and we have a lot of people here watching us, especially who are at the beginning of their careers, at the beginning of their adult life. Right now, I'm 29, but I feel like the adult life is starting for me now. I don't, before that, we usually would say, oh, you're an adult past 18 years old. I don't think so. Right. It's still, and what would you tell these people, these younglings who are here, who are being inspired by you right now? What piece of advice would you give them if they want, for example, to start in the skincare market, or if they want to open their own brand, or anything else entirely extra? What would you tell them?
um, I mean, it's gonna sound cheesy, but I think find the dream and work towards it. I think we get deviated from our dreams for so many reasons.
Oh yeah,
A baby, family, moving out, losing a job, and you end up saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna go work for a bank because that's the easy route." That would be my biggest thing. Like, if you want, like, dream something and find it within you. Like, I also feel like a lot of younger people haven't been given the chip or the creativity to have a dream. They have sort of become a little bit complacent with what the school told them or what the parents told them. So try to, go away for a month and find what you want to be, dream it and go for it. But when you say go for it, stay consistent and study what you want to get to, right? So in my case, for example, I knew I wanted to be in this wellness skincare industry from a very young age.
okay.
And I have taken the steps to learn about it and to try to get in the industry and meeting those people. So don't think it's going to be magic and say, hey, I want to be a movie producer, but I am going to, I don't know, not learn how to operate a camera or how to read a script.
Edit
Like,
a
there's
video,
so
for
many.
example.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many, like, a lot of people think that getting to one point is like, A, that you are deserving to get there because they told you that. No, I don't think so. You need to put the work to get there, study it, and study the little parts. Like, again, in my case, I might not be exactly an expert, but I know what I need to do the imports to anywhere in the world, really. I know what's prohibited, I know what's not. And that's not part of marketing, but I have put in the time to learn if I want to get here, what are the roadblocks that I'm going to have to overcome? So learn and have the curiosity to do it so that you can accomplish the dream that you
Well,
want. So that's it.
yeah. Yeah, then that was awesome. I
And
have
well, we
nothing else
say
to add.
at Awesome Humans say, stay awesome.
Stay
That's
awesome. Wow.
stay
Wow.
awesome.
Amazing. I'm having tons of emotions right now, but again, this is the time we had. I really want you to come back in the future here to the show. Please, I'll make sure to keep tabs on this, especially whenever you start selling in Europe. Let's do it again so that we can, make sure that the Europeans get a feeling of how awesome they are. But overall, Aaron, it was amazing. Sorry, it was awesome talking to you. It was
Thank you
it
so
was
much.
one of the best ever, and I'm pretty sure everybody who's watching feels the same. So again, people who are watching us, please, every single detail of Aaron is here down below. Click that follow button for him. Help the brand, help the cause, because you're not just helping a nice guy, you're helping the world be better. Aaron, anything else you'd like to say last for us to close this? Stay awesome is a
No, just
possibility.
yeah, no, just stay awesome and just I don't know, enjoy life. That's all I have to
That's it.
say. If you don't, then you're screwed.
Yes.
So
Yeah. That's it, everybody. Stay awesome. This has been Victor, Aaron. Farron, thank you so much. For everyone
thank
else,
you so
we'll,
much.
we'll stay in touch. We'll see each other the next time. Bye bye. Stay awesome. Stay awesome.